Hello, I am Ian. I am a ninth grader at South High School. Earlier this year, I moved from Montana all the way to the Twin Cities. A few weeks into school, I was having some trouble adjusting to the new environment, and I saw a poster for RIOT. I figured it might be nice to get into a group. I wanted to meet other people around my age who had similar interests. I took the poster home, but I came close to not actually signing up. I was nervous about new things. Despite my hesitations, I did, in fact, sign up, as is probably obvious. And 2 days later, I was rather surprised to find out I had made it in. Over the following weeks, I quickly learned all the equipment and the editing programs, but I quickly ran into a problem when I started thinking about my final project. It boiled down to one problem, really. Not much has really happened to me so far. My life has been kind of boring. The move was the first interesting thing to happen to me in, years. So I was struggling to make a story about identity when I didn't think there was much there to begin with. Nevertheless, I started experimenting. Some of my early ideas were about the pandemic and how spending 2 years indoors affected me. Another one of my big ideas was talking to my parents about how they were raised and how that changed the way they raised me and my siblings. I went through a bunch more ideas than these, but I kept not liking them. I think I wrote 3 scripts, and I even actually started recording the interviews for one of them before throwing out the idea. In the end, with 1 week left of the program, I was left essentially back at square one. I didn't have any ideas and no work to show for the 4 some weeks I spent working on it. But eventually, an idea started to form. I decided I wanted to do a project on sort of the process of RIOT. Throughout the program, I talked a lot about myself and thought about who I was, where I've come from, where I want to go to, and I sort of came to realize that my life hasn't been quite as boring as it used to be, or at least the way I thought it used to be. A lot has happened to me, and a surprising amount of that has changed who I am, how I see the world, and, well, my identity. And so I decided to make this video, a video talking about my experience with RIOT and how it's affected how I think about myself and how I think about identity.